I'll be listening to each track on each record for a couple of seconds at most. The goal is really to filter through as much music as possible. This is the best tune I've found so far. It's got pan flutes. This is a goat hair brush. The hairs are really fine and soft. Happy, sort of sunshiny sounding tune. Druggy, big room, warm-up tune. Hi, I'm Gene on Earth, and this is the Art of DJing with Resident Advisor. I'm going to go a little bit into my record organization and filing system. So I use a sticker system using all of these colors. Here, for example, just to get things started, I've got a blue sticker and it's in the middle of this record because there are 3 tunes on this side. So if it was at the outside, it would mean that it's the outside tune. And as you can hear, it is pretty housey. So blue is kind of like the basis of most of my collection because I play a lot of house. And I keep all of those in basically this general area. We've got other colors like yellow, which is for warm-up, which I've got yellows here. And then here I've got some greens, which are more sort of druggy electronic music. And then here I've got reds, which are more big room or peak time. But either way, they've got sort of a lot of energy in them. So just to give you another little idea of what I mean by warm up, this is from Psh, which is Daoud's label. And as you can hear, it is pretty mellow, something that you would play at the beginning of a night when you're just getting started rolling. I'll show you a bit of red just to show you what I mean. This is from Ploy's new double 12 on deck mantle. It's really good. Pretty pumping stuff, mostly red stickers, as you can hear here. I wouldn't be playing that in Club de Visionaire, for example. I might be playing it more at a festival or something like that. Why I keep that stuff sort of separated is if I know that I'm going to be playing a, I don't know, kind of either a peak time festival set or with if I'm playing back to back with someone who plays pretty heavy, then I know that I can just sort of go and get a bunch of that stuff right in these squares and find it pretty easily. Then you can start being able to combine stickers. So for instance, here we've got red and yellow, which would mean kind of warming up large rooms or festivals before there's anyone playing. This has got a pink and a yellow. When I put a little sunshine on the yellow sticker, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's warm up. It means that it is a happy, sort of sunshiny sounding tune with a bit, and with the pink sticker means with a bit of emotion. So yeah, I wouldn't really play that tune at night very much, but if I know that I'm going to be playing a daytime sort of breezy sort of thing, maybe at Heidegluen or something like that, I would definitely stick that tune in my bag. And on the other side, this has got one that I play a lot. It's got blue and red, so it's pretty peak time-ish or big room-ish. And blue is pretty housey. Blue also can mean that it's just a tune that I can put in my bag a lot of the time. So yeah, it's just a pretty driving thing that I wouldn't be playing in a warm-up very much. Another one is when you add a triple color, like this one has got yellow, green, and red. So it's a druggy big room warm-up tune. So the big reverb sound on those bongos makes them kind of a lot bigger sounding than if there wasn't such an echoey sound on them, which makes it essentially big room. So you can hear it gets pretty weird there, kind of trippy. Another important color in the system is the color white. It means generally after hours or kind of trippy, but not in the sense that it's a green sticker. So this Doc Martin remix is definitely like that. That's a nugget. It's also got a square white sticker, which means that I have already ripped this tune so that I don't waste my time ripping it again, which I've done a lot of times. So these are records that I've just got in. I have not labeled them yet. So first of all is this Junior Boy's Own one from the Dust Brothers. And I believe it was the Outside tune. So that for me is kind of after hours-y and kind of emotional. So I would stick a white sticker and a pink sticker. What was this white label? This, oh, right. That's also a nice tune. I would stick a blue one on here because it's also pretty playable, and I think I would just leave it as that. Because it's a pure white label, I won't be able to remember what it sounds like. I will add a sticker and put something that will just help you sort of remember it a little bit. For instance, we could take one of these puppies, like this one is pretty cute. I haven't used this guy before, so I will stick him right there. It's a lot more memorable now that it's got the some sort of visual cue to go alongside it. So I'll start with this Space Teddy record. This is a really good tune. I've had it for a long time, and I've basically never played it because it's got a section in the middle of it that always drives me crazy, not in a good way. First thing I would do is I would clean this up to make sure you want to get as good of a clean signal as you can. This is an Okinoki. This is a vacuum cleaner, and I would use this liquid like this. Just kind of dotted around there. And this is a goat hair brush, and you can be really rough with it because the hairs are really fine and soft and really get the fluid in there. And then we will just turn this vacuum cleaner on. Now it should be pretty clean. It really does work pretty well. The turntable goes via RCA cable into this Gramsley Aragold V preamp. So that will run from here, also via RCA cable, into the Apogee Duet, which is my sound card, which then runs via USB into the computer. And now I will get this recording going. Open your mind. There's a few reasons to rip records. I primarily play records when I'm playing, but I make a lot of edits, or if I'm going somewhere where turntables are not going to be working that well, like on a boat, for example, just to have a good backup in my USB. So we've got the original recording right here, and this is what it's going to sound like. I'll show you the part that I didn't like. So that keeps going for about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, and it really drives me insane. So what I did is I cut this section, so now this is the edited one, and it basically jumped 1 minute and I think about a full minute ahead. And now that vocal section will go for a lot shorter of a time. And when I export through this master chain, it will be a pretty good club level edit. It becomes a basically playable track for me. We are here in Kimchi Records in Berlin, which is one of my favorite record shops. The main thing that I always try to assume is that I know nothing. This stops me from pre-filtering or taking things out that I would possibly find a good tune on. This is already quite filtered, as in it's been separated by genre and stuff like that. That is why I will usually go for unfiltered stuff if I can find it. What I would normally do is pretty much go through every single record that I do not know. All white labels, I will always grab them. This one has 4 remixes. I would always grab something with a lot of remixes because there's a good chance that you don't know it. It just looks decent, or it looks like it could have something. Pharma, I have a lot of records from, and I don't have this one. This one, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it looks pretty funky. Junior Boyzone is one of my favorite labels, really. I have so many records, there's pretty much always one in my bag, so I will always give those a listen. Open your mind. I'm pretty much going to be going through everything as quickly as possible, because I know generally by this point in my life what catches my ear. So I'll be listening to each track on each record for a couple of seconds at most to figure out if that is then worth listening to further. But the goal is really to filter through as much music as possible, as quickly as possible, because if you have 2 hours in a record store and you're spending 2 minutes on each record, then you're not gonna be listening to so many records. This is why you always listen to white labels, because this one is pretty good. Something that I would play in certain types of sets. Another thing is that I always want to find at least one record to leave a record store with, because they're going to have to put my tunes back, and you want to support a record store. So this has got a potentially good tune on it. You can also see already that someone has put a sticker on it, which means that at least for someone there was something pretty good on it. This is the best tune I've found so far. So let's see what we can find. It's a decent tune, but it's a bit beat science-y for me, whereas I want something a little bit more straight for the style I play. It's got pan flutes, which aren't usually included in my sets. This one has sex noises, so I generally don't like those tunes. Yeah, this one didn't quite hit the mark. Yeah, see, this is why you always go through, or it's nice to go through sections that aren't necessarily your normal style. Like, I could have gone straight for the tech house section, but sometimes I assume that people have already picked through that quite heavily, whereas with this breakbeat section, this is basically breakbeat house. It's still got kind of a 4/4 kick behind it and a very good bass line. And I would say it's pretty playable. Yeah, I would really just try and be as thorough as possible and listen to as much, go through as much stuff as possible, because as I said, you don't know what's in there, and you never know what you're gonna find.